If you Google the biggest massacre that happened in Europe since World War II, it will come up, and that is where I'm from, and that is what I survived. I remember them ripping babies from mothers' hands, killing babies.
Srebrenica, the scene of the worst mass killing on European soil since World War II, and part of what the UN says was a campaign of genocide. But 20 years on, what do we know about what happened? July 1995. Tens of thousands of Bosnian Muslims had fled a Bosnian Serb army offensive and were under siege in Srebrenica, today's eastern Bosnia. The area was meant to be a UN safe zone and was protected by about 600 lightly armed Dutch peacekeepers. But on the 6th of July, the Bosnian Serb army began advancing, taking some peacekeepers hostage, and within days they'd entered Srebrenica itself. The Bosnian Serb army demanded that the Bosnian Muslim fighters hand over all their weapons in exchange for safety. They then took aside men aged between 12 and 77 for what they said would be interrogation. The first killings began just 2 days later. In all, over 8,000 Bosnian Muslims were killed in just 5 days. And over 23,000 women and children were forcibly deported, with reports of widespread torture and rape. Even now, 20 years on, victims are still being identified and reburied. While Serbia has apologized for what it said was a crime, it denies that the killings were a systematic attempt to eradicate a people. In other words, a genocide.
I was born in July 1984. I was born in Serbia, but I am Bosnian. The reason that I was born in Serbia is because I am from a small village in Bosnia that is very close to Serbian border, and it used to be Yugoslavia, which was 5 countries, and it was just one giant, or I don't know, well, it wasn't giant, but it was one big, pretty much country that was consistent of 5 countries: Slovenia, Serbia, Croatia, Macedonia, and Bosnia. In 1992, there was some nationalism going on all over Yugoslavia, and everybody started to get separated. Well, whenever Bosnia wanted to get separated as well, become independent, Serbia started a war. In summer of 1992, when I was 8 years old, I remember the day like it was yesterday. My father is sitting up in front porch, we're eating breakfast, and somebody's supposed to come pick him up so they can go to work. And they worked in Serbia. They would go for like 2 or 3 weeks, just like a truck driver, and do construction, and then come back home for like a week, you know. That's why I don't remember him a lot, because he wasn't around a lot. After he left, that was the last time we saw him. War broke out. He couldn't cross the river to come over to Bosnia. He escaped with my uncle and some of the other people to Austria, and then he just couldn't bear the fact that we were stuck over in a war zone, and he was just there in Austria. So him and my uncle, who's my mom's brother, he was in Turkey, so somehow they got together and they decided to go to another part of Bosnia that was, well, whole Bosnia was in a war. If you Google the biggest massacre that happened in Europe since World War II, it will come up, and that is where I'm from, and that is what I survived. So my father we were basically encircled from every side in that little town right there. where I was. So my father came from Austria, and my uncle came from Turkey. They after they escaped Bosnia, they came back, and a group of men, I don't know how many, about 100 or more, they decided they're gonna cross over from that one territory of Bosnia into the area where I was, which was encircled by Serbians from every side. Well, they decided to do it at the worst time ever, like in December. And winters in Bosnia are nothing to be messed around with. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like there's a lot of mountains over there. Everything's mountain over there, pretty much. And somehow the guy who was guiding him led them right into a freaking what do you call it? Like an army base. And it was an ambush. They started shooting. A bunch of them got killed. A bunch of them got wounded. My uncle, he survived, and he saw his kids. And I saw my uncle too. I was actually the last one to see him before he was killed. My dad never came. Whenever my uncle came, he kept saying, "Oh, he's gonna come, don't worry, don't worry." But he never came. Sorry. My uncle knew what happened, but he just didn't want to tell us, you know. And yeah. So then, maybe a couple weeks later, me, my mom, and my sister, we were at my grandma's house at the village where she's from, and my uncle's there, and a bunch of my mom's cousins, my mom's uncle, my mom's aunt. And it was evening. And it was nice outside, you know. And my grandma was like, "Maybe you guys should go up to the next village up there because it's safer than it would be to stay here." And thankfully, my mom decided that yes, it is probably better for us to go up there, and we'll be back down here in the morning. Well, in the morning, we hear that those cocksuckers came and they killed everybody in that village where my grandma was. So if we stayed the night there, I would be dead too. They killed my uncle, who came over whenever my dad and him tried to come over. He escaped. He didn't die there. He came and he was killed right there. He was, I don't even know if he was 30 years old. He's got 3 kids right now, and all 3 of them live in Columbia, Missouri. They cut my grandma's head off. They cut my mom's aunt's head off. They burnt my mom's cousin alive. He was hiding under a pile of hay. They burned the hay, and they burned him right there. They took away 2 of my mom's cousins and their four children, and still to this day, we don't know anything about them. We don't know what happened to them. We never found their remains or anything. They never found the remains of my father either, still to this day. And just like a year ago, I find out that actually my father was wounded whenever they were trying to cross over to where I was from another Bosnian territory. He was wounded, and he was burnt alive as well. I have another, we're not first cousins, but we're related. He lives here in Columbia as well. His dad tried crossing with my dad, and his dad died. One of his uncles was wounded and could not walk, so he just said, "Just give me a hand grenade and leave me behind." So unfortunately, 2 of his brothers could not carry him. They had to leave him behind, and after they ran off a little bit into a distance, all they could hear is a grenade blast. So he blew himself, and hopefully a few of those cocksuckers. It was very bad. It was very bad. We were starving for days. We didn't have anything to eat. We were eating grass. We were eating, you know, whenever you have a, what is it called? Corn cob. Well, you take the corn off, and then you're left with that thing in the middle, the cob, whatever it's called. We were grinding that up and eating it, and that was like a fucking sand, you know. It would plug you up like really bad, man. Like you couldn't go to the bathroom for days. It was very dangerous, but we had to eat something. My mom, my cousin, who is dead, I think he was like 19 years old when he died in 1995. My mom, my cousin, and his mom, my cousin's mom, they would sneak out in the middle of the night. They go behind enemy lines to steal food to bring it to us. And you know, that's why I will always love my mom and appreciate what she did for me and my sister, because she could have went out and never came back, and then it would be just me and my sister, and we was just little kids back then. So not a very fun time, man. I had a lot of opportunity to die, but thank God I didn't. I remember one time me and my friends, I don't know if we were maybe like 9 or 10 years old, we were just in the woods picking strawberries, I think, and all of a sudden there's a lot of shooting going on. So we were like crawling between the sheeps and stuff, and we came back to our little village where there was a lot of people. My mom is crying, my sister is crying, thinking that I'm dead, but luckily I was not dead. And I remember one time, this was just after the war started, I think it was still 92. Me and my friends, we were playing on a little hill. We were playing with like bows and arrows, you know. And all of a sudden, these cocksuckers start shooting. It's a weapon called, I don't know how you call it in English, but it is a VBR weapon. If you just Google that, it'll bring it up. It's like you can put 32 rockets in it, and they will all fire like one after another, just like. And one of them fuckers landed about 6 feet away from my head while I was laying down on the ground, and it did not explode. I mean, that is a freaking miracle, man, if you ask me. So after those little villages were rounded up, and we moved on to this little bit bigger town, it was a little bit better, but then in 95, everything came crashing down. July 11th, 1995, where almost 10,000 young men and boys were killed, they were executed. So, very bad. And we were kind of in a prison camp there for a few days until they loaded us on buses and trucks to transfer us to this other territory. And yeah, fucking sucks, man. I remember this one time, me, my mom, and my sister, we were going from my cousin's house back to where we lived, and there was some kind of soccer tournament going on right there in that town where we lived, in front of a school. And all the way around the school there was big giant like fences, probably maybe, I don't know, maybe like 20 feet high, you know, so whenever you're playing soccer you wouldn't go on the road even though there was no cars, you know. And these motherfuckers just started firing rockets right there and then, and me, my mom and sister and a bunch of other people, we ran into a basement of a school to hide there. After we came out, it was carnage, man. It was like dead people all over the fucking place, like body parts stuck on the fence that was surrounding the playing field. Like you would see a leg there, an arm there, a head over there, a foot there. I mean, torso over there, like just, I mean, it was like a fucking horror movie, man. It was like, I don't know, man. It is just freaking crazy. To survive something like that and see something like that and and be, you know, in a somewhat right mind is just freaking amazing, if you're asking me. You know, I tell a lot of people, like, you know, you'll meet some people and say, oh, you don't know how I grew up in the hood, or I grew up in a trailer park, I didn't have anything. Man, you are freaking lucky to grow up in the hood or in a trailer park compared to what I've been through. I've been through something that you don't even see in fucking movies, man. It's like, it would take, I don't know, it would take like 6 fucking days for me to tell everything from the beginning to the end, how bad it was. Yeah, very freaking bad. I don't know, man. Fucking sucks, but it is what it is, man. I am very happy to be here in the United States, where I feel very safe. And I fucking love this country, man. I don't know. A lot of people that live here, that were born here, they don't like it, they hate it. Well, motherfucker. If you don't like it, you can always go get your fucking passport and get the fuck out. Go somewhere and see how people actually live. You know, don't just say, oh, this country sucks from your couch, but you've never been anywhere else, motherfucker. Go to Somalia, go to fucking Afghanistan, go somewhere, go to Palestine, see how people and little kids live, and then I will ask you if you're gonna appreciate this country, you dumb fucking idiot. And still to this day, they are finding remains of people from July 11th, 1995, that were massacred and executed. They are digging up mass graves all over the place, and they are burying people every July 11th, right there in those factories where we were locked up and waiting to basically get killed or whatever. I remember we were walking from those factories where the UN was. Fuck the UN, by the way. Those cocksuckers didn't do anything for us. They were supposed to protect us, but no, they didn't do anything. All they did was they came and they did a demilitarized zone for us. So basically they were taking guns away from our people. So that way, if the shit came, you know, again, we wouldn't be able to defend ourselves. And yeah, I remember walking from those factories to the buses with women, children, you know, men, and like grandfathers. Well, they were keeping, like, you would be walking towards the buses or trucks, and they would just say, you come here, sit there, you come here, sit there. So they were basically taking young boys from, I don't know, maybe age 11, 10, something like that, depend on how big you are. And even grandfathers that were walking around with canes. Because my cousin's grandfather, he was blind in one eye, he could barely fucking walk. He was left behind and executed with everybody else. We are not first cousins, but we are related. I used to play with this kid. He was like 2 years older than me. And he was left behind as well and executed, you know. Like, how fucking crazy is that, man? And that shit is still going on to this day all over the world, you know. There's wars and stuff. War is hell, man. War is hell, buddy. You don't ever want to experience it. Trust me. If I was any bigger, luckily I didn't have, well, I didn't feel lucky during the war, you know, when I was there, not having food to eat, because I was really skinny, like, I mean, skin and bones. But luckily I didn't have food to eat and I was kind of scrawny or whatever, and they didn't leave me behind. If I was any thicker or any taller, I would have been left behind and executed with all of those other people right there and then. Very bad shit happened, man. Very bad. There's a 3-part documentary series that was done by BBC, I believe. It's called the fall of, or fall, whatever you wanna, I don't know. The Fall of Former Yugoslavia. You can watch it if you are interested, and you can kind of see what happened and why it happened and whatnot. Also, there was a movie with what's his name, that's based on true story and true events, called Behind Enemy Lines, and it is with what's his name, Owen Wilson. So it's like basically American pilot. He flies over mass grave site. He takes pictures with his airplane somehow, and then these Serbian guys shoot his plane down, and then they're chasing him around all over Bosnia trying to kill him so he can't get pictures of mass graves back into the world. So you can also watch that movie if you are interested. It's a pretty good movie. I think I'm gonna watch it again when I come home. Also, what they would do is, like where I lived, after we escaped my grandma's house or whatever, UN built like a trailer park. It was basically like the trailers here in the United States, the trailer parks. And we lived there, and what these people would do, Serbians, they would throw landmines into creeks and rivers, and those landmines would flow down to where we were. And whenever we were playing as kids, you know, you could step on that landmine. One of my friends, same age like me, stepped on one of them fuckers, got his leg blown off up to his knee. You know, just stuff like that, man. It's very cruel what they did. I don't know how people can do that, man. I really don't. To have so much hate in your heart, to do that, I don't know, buddy. Before the war, it did not matter who you were. It did not matter if you were Serbian, Croatian, Macedonian, Slovenian, whatever. Everybody lived like brothers. It did not matter what religion you were, what your name was. Everybody lived peacefully. There was nothing ever that was going on, and then politicians did all of this. They did everything. It was not the people, because people did not hate each other. It was politicians who did it. Each side angered this side, and then that side angered that side, and put a bunch of hate in people's hearts, and people started hating each other, and then they started killing each other. And unfortunately, Bosnia got the short end of the stick. First, Serbia started to try to invade Slovenia. Well, they were beaten back. They couldn't do it. I don't know if they tried to do anything with Macedonia. I can't remember there, but I know they did fight with Croatia as well. But Croatia, they had help from the West. They were supplied weapons, rockets, everything, and they were able to defend themselves. But not to us for some reason. I don't know. Might have some do, you know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Same thing like what happened in Kosovo. That's another country right there, right now. I think it used to be part of Serbia, but it's majority. It was majority Albanians living there, and now it is a country of Kosovo. Same thing that happened there. Politicians came in, started, you know, and they killed a lot of people. Serbians killed a lot of people there in Kosovo as well, you know. You can look it up, buddy. You can look all of this up. In 1995, before the massacre happened, United States and of course UN knew what was getting ready to happen. But this fucking idiot that was UN secretary at the time, some kind of Japanese dumb motherfucker, he prevented NATO, or he might have been like NATO secretary, I don't know, but he prevented NATO from bombing Serbians so they wouldn't come to kill all those men and whatever, young men and boys and old grandpas and everything. He said no, don't do it. So they didn't do it, and there you have it. Fucking cocksucker. I hope he's burning in fucking hell right now if he's dead. Fucking son of a bitch. And on June 6th, 2002, I came here to the United States. It was the best day of my life, man. I remember it was so beautiful back then, man. Everything was new. Like, I would go to Walmart and I was like, holy shit, look at this freaking place. Wow, look at all this, look at all that. I would get up in the middle of night and I would chug like 2 freaking cans of Mountain Dew, because I loved Mountain Dew. Because back in Bosnia, even after the war, like soda, like bananas, fruits, it was kind of a luxury. We could not afford it. So whenever I came here, I was like, wow, man. And the first food that I tried here in the United States was Taco Bell. One of my cousins, well, we're not first cousins, his grandfather and my grandfather are cousins. So we're kind of, related in that way. So yeah, I tried Taco Bell and it was like, wow, buddy, it was soft tacos. It was very delicious. And I love tacos to this day, man. I started going to school first a little bit to high school. Even though I finished high school in Bosnia, I wanted to go another year here to kind of improve my English, but I already knew English from watching like 3 or 4 movies a day back in Bosnia. That's all I did. It was Jean-Claude Van Damme, my friend, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Rambo, Sylvester Stallone, all of those good old movies, man. But the movies were not woke. Yeah. But yeah. I started going to high school, like I said, to improve my English. And my friend was like, he's also from Bosnia. He came here to the United States like maybe a month or 2 before me. He was like, let's quit, man. My mom says if I want to quit, we can quit. I was like, no, man, I don't want to freaking quit. I want to go for at least 1 year, and maybe get the high school diploma from the United States as well, and go to college, whatever. Well, one day, because that's what we do, Bosnians, we like to party. I was like 17 years old, going out, drinking, using fake IDs, whatever, and chasing ladies. From the day one that I got here, I was chasing freaking ladies, man. And one day, I didn't do my English homework for the first class, and I just sat there in front of high school, like, for that first hour and a half, however the class was long. And then later, when I got inside, they called me in the office and they said, you gotta go down the basement for detention. I was like, the fuck you guys talking about? So they just sent me there for, which detention is the dumbest fucking shit ever. So basically, you are mad at me that I missed one class. You're gonna send me down in basement for all fucking day so I can miss every other class, which is very freaking stupid. And after I got out to eat lunch out of detention, my friend was up there and I was like, you still wanna quit? And he was like, yeah. I was like, let's fucking quit this bitch. So we called our friend, he came picked us up, and we said, fuck the school, I'm gonna go do manual labor for the rest of my life. Which I would not recommend to anybody. Do not do that. Go to school, make something out of yourself. Do not become a truck driver. And ever since then, I've been working. There was some times that I did not work for a few months for whatever reason, or I was laid off from work, but I have never collected unemployment. I have never collected food stamps. I have never had any kind of government assistance, basically. Nothing. Everything that I have is made and built by my own freaking hands. Even though I am a truck driver, I am very, very fortunate. I know I say trucking sucks, but it does suck because you have to be away from home all the time, man. But I am very fortunate. I was able to afford a giant ass house. I have very nice paid off cars. I drive this beautiful paid off truck and a trailer. So what more can you ask, man? The life right now is very nice. And yeah, I never went back to Bosnia since I came here because I am afraid of airplanes. I am afraid of flying, my friend. Basically, I was afraid of flying whenever I came here too, but I was like, I would rather die on the airplane than stay here and be poor for the rest of my life. Well, guess what? I am still freaking poor, but hey, it is what it is. It's better to be poor in the United States than to be poor in Bosnia. And by the way, we are in beautiful Monroe City, Missouri. I did have opportunity to go to Netherlands and live there because there was two girls. They basically, before I came here, I was like 17 years old, and they were about the same age as me. They wanted to get married to me. Well, not both of them at the same time, but one of them wanted to, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And then a second one also wanted to, and I was, I don't know, man. I don't know. For some reason, I didn't like these girls. They were beautiful, but I don't know. Maybe I think I didn't like their voice or something. It was very annoying for some reason. And yeah, I didn't go, but I could have lived in Netherlands right now, which I don't know how it is over there, but I think it's the best here in the United States. But anyway, back to the story. Before I was rudely interrupted by these fucking Indians trying to scam me once again. No matter how many times you tell them to fuck off, they still keep calling. But like I was saying, I had the opportunity to go to Netherlands twice. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go, but at the same time, I wish I did, because I would be close to Bosnia and I would be able to drive over there to visit the family. I also did apply to go to Australia before coming here to the United States, but thankfully those cocksuckers said no. I'm sorry, Don, you're a good man, but I like guns, and you guys cannot have guns over there. It's just freaking crazy. Government has all the guns, but if people want to have guns, I don't think so. Guns are dangerous if people have it, but they are not dangerous if government has it. You guys gotta be fucking careful over there. But yeah, I like it here. I don't know if I've said that before, but I am very happy to be here. And you know, every day I see beautiful places all over this beautiful country, my friend. The only thing I don't like about it is these revenue collectors, because they're trying to steal my money, bro. I work hard for my money, man. Why are you trying to steal it, man? Huh? Come on, bro. And that's the reason, my friends, that I am fearless. I am afraid of no living being in this world. Well, except for snakes. But you know what I'm saying. I am only afraid of God. That is it. Nothing else scares me. And also, I'm afraid of tornadoes as well. Yep. Tornadoes, my friend. And that is why I always say, everywhere I go, I carry something to where I can defend myself. If I need to take your life away instead of you taking my life away. Because I always say, I did not die in Bosnia when I was in war. I am sure as hell not dying here, man. That will not happen. No, sir. That is why I think if politicians are creating wars, like, okay, let's take for example war in Ukraine right now. If Zelensky and Putin had some kind of problem, you know, why involve all the people to be killed? They should fight to death themselves. You know, give them weapons of their choice, like swords or whatever. Put them on fucking TV so we can watch them kill each other. Why do all these innocent people need to be killing each other? Why? What's the point? I don't know why. Politics. That's all it is. So, yeah, just, you know, and if Biden wants to start war with Russia or something, come on, cocksucker. We'll give you a sword. You and Putin, you guys dish it out. Kill each other, whatever you guys want to do, suck each other off, but don't involve us. I don't want to fucking fight anybody, you know. I am going to fight to protect myself, but I don't want to go to fucking war to kill people over something, you know, over something that you don't like. That's stupid, you know. Like George Bush and Saddam Hussein, they should have fought each other to death and see who wins. Instead, there's millions of people dead, you know, tens of thousands of soldiers dead on our side, you know. So yeah, I think it should be like that, man. I don't know. You know, even after the war, the life was hard without my father, because basically in Bosnia, and I didn't have anybody. I had a couple uncles, but I have one uncle, he's in Austria. He lives there with his family. I have one uncle, he lives in Croatia with his family. And my other uncle, my third uncle, was in Hungary. My fourth uncle, those are my dad's brothers. He was killed. I didn't have any cousins or anybody to protect me. So basically, there's a lot of bullies back in Bosnia, you know, but they're not from the place where I am from, you know. They're over here, close to the capital of Bosnia. That's where I lived until I came to the United States after the war. Well, people are always picking on you, you know, because they know you don't have anybody to protect you. So you had to protect yourself. Well, when I was 15 years old, the guy was picking on me all the time. So I stabbed the motherfucker. And I didn't go to jail because I was too young, you know, and he kind of asked for it. But he didn't die or anything, but he was pretty fucked up, you know, pretty bad. So I'm kind of happy that I did that, to be honest with you, because after that, nobody messed around with me. You know, a person can only take so much of bullying, so much of bullshit until you snap and bam, buddy. That's what you get, motherfucker. But, alright, well, we are almost home. That is it for this video. I don't know how long the video is gonna be, but hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully it's not too boring for you guys. But thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys. Please stay safe out there. And I will see you on the next one.